Okay.
Mhm.
So, let's see, I'm on week 2 of the gut protocol, and Sue, I think, is on week 3, if I'm right.
Yeah.
And so we're just gonna, I think, recap that, and then we can just talk in general about, nutrition. And I didn't have any questions in the group necessarily to cover that I've seen. It seems like we've been kind of catching the questions as we go and, checking into those things. So, hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
We were just gonna kind of recap how we're feeling about gut protocol in our week, and go on from there. So I don't know, Sue, do you want to go first? How you're ahead of us a little by a week?
Yeah,
How things are going?
I'm not really that far ahead. I mean, week 3 is really very similar to week 2. I'm not really adding anything other than I did finally have a cup of coffee today after almost 2.5 weeks. And that's really it. I mean, this week we're supposed to be focusing on making sure we're chewing all our food.
Yeah, I find myself kind of inhaling a little bit some days.
Yeah,
Either I'm short on time, or it's like I'm so hungry. I'm just like, oh,
yeah. So chew your food, work on relieving stress and getting a lot of sleep. So that's kind of what we're working on this week. So, and the food's the same, you're pretty much doing the same as 2.
Yeah. So how are you feeling on things? Like, what's your opinion so far of how you feel, how things are going?
I feel good. I've lost some weight. I feel less bloated. Still feel like I'm going to the bathroom a little too much, more than I think I should be. And that I'm not sure if that's because like what I'm eating. It's not because I'm eating more vegetables, because I eat the same amount of vegetables as that I always do.
Right.
So still kind of tweaking that and figuring that out.
Do you think maybe there's a food? Do you have like is it maybe sometimes it happens with something with a certain food?
Yeah, I really do. I think, and I need to cut them out. I think either nuts.
Oh, interesting.
Or maybe some beans or something. I'm not
Beans
sure.
are tough. I've been rinsing them a lot more than I ever did before, just because that, you can have some sensitivity, and they even talk about soaking your beans, like not necessarily, before you're cooking them, but like if you have canned beans, just soaking them for a while to get through there. I need to look it up to get more detail, but there's like a coating on it that can upset your stomach. Same with quinoa, right? So you can have, get some indigestion from that. And it talks about how some people might, need to kind of work on the soaking or rinsing more, just to kind of get through the first parts and, for your body to level out and get used to it.
Yeah. But I haven't had any this week. I just wasn't going to eat them.
And is that better then, do you think, or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do feel a little better. So I don't know, maybe it's too much fiber in them, or maybe it's just too much something in them. I don't know.
Yeah. Bev, do you know what it is about, like, we were just talking about beans and how, like, because I've been extra rinsing mine. Do you know what it is on it that can make it a little more sensitive for your digestion?
Well, the outside of it itself is just harder to digest. Kind of like how sometimes spinach can be difficult for people to digest, that outer cellular layer.
Okay.
Which is better with cooked spinach versus raw spinach, because it's that outside layer that is more difficult to break down. But I also think that there's something to do with like there can be toxins on the outside.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And it's something that can be an irritant, like with quinoa. So I've been extra rinsing and just kind of making sure that like doesn't affect anything.
Yeah. So, well, I'll try that just to see if that makes a difference.
Yeah. And how'd the coffee go? Because I know before you could feel it when you added it back in after the reset.
You know what? I could feel it. Like I could feel the acidic, in my, yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Are you willing to give it up for good?
I really am. I mean, I
Okay.
think I'm over the habit. Like there's some mornings I wake up and I don't even give it a thought to having a coffee or a tea or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, 2 hours later, I went, oh, wow, I haven't even made a tea yet, you know?
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah,
mhm.
yeah. Well, it
And
sounds like it's not a big deal then. I've had my 3 coffees a week. I was kind of waiting for a while because I was like, I don't want to have it and then really, really want it.
I know,
But
yes,
I've had them and I haven't had any digestive feelings at all
right.
after having it. So I was kind of happy about that. Other than that, I've just been having the matcha lattes and then what you call it? I energize. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think the matcha lattes help because you are still getting a little bit of that caffeine. So I don't know about you guys, but I didn't experience the brain fog and the headaches or anything from it.
I didn't
So
either. Yeah.
I think that totally helped, but I
Mhm.
was more thinking, like the coffee was causing a lot of heartburn or, that type of thing. So
Yeah, must be the acid in there that's
unfortunately, I think that's the case.
yeah.
So, yeah,
How about
that's it.
you, Jen? Are you at a place where you can tell us how things are going for you?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up making dinner.
Nice.
Um, things are going fine. Reminds me a little bit of when I did Whole30 because you eliminate a lot of the same things.
Yes. Yeah.
And I remember feeling really good doing that. These are all the things that I probably should keep out of my diet anyways. And so, I think it was hard for me with the travel. So even though this is technically week 2, I had a couple days last week, the weekend, where traveling made it really difficult to stick with it.
Yeah.
Just because of the options and my sick child. But,
Yeah.
I got right back to it. And I feel like it's a little bit easier this week. So I know for me and some of my clients too, felt like it was a big learning curve. Not that it's hard to know, what to eat. It's just remembering like how many containers and how to pair things together. But I think once you do it for a week, then it becomes easy to just not wing it, but
I totally agree. Like this week's a lot easier to just know what to have on hand.
Yep.
And just like I'm still kind of just filling containers at this point. I will do recipes here and there, but
Yep.
I'm really, and this is great for portion fix too, because it's like so many times I think we go into a nutrition plan and you're like, well, how does this recipe I'm used to making go
Mhm.
into this plan? And we
Yeah.
really have to reverse that and be, how do I get on this plan, start on it, and then I can start figuring out how to bring in these, usual things or the things I'm used to having or like to have or the family eats, and
Mhm.
figure out how to make that into, something that works for you. But filling the containers, I mean, there's so many ways to just put the foods together and
Yeah.
everything still tastes really good.
Yeah, like today, just having a simple salad again. Like, because I know week 1 we were trying not to have a lot of raw, but I had a salad today and I was like, what can I put on here that would be like a red? But I already had a red for breakfast that was a red A, so let me find a red B. And it's just like thinking that way,
Yeah.
Helps me piece it all together. And of course, I love walnuts and I love the blues, but you only get one blue. So then it's like, well, if I use the blue on my salad, then I cannot have any more blue the rest, it's just keeping that stuff in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. You're definitely, yeah, it's just, and you get really used to thinking that way. There was this one meme I used to put in my groups and it was like, all I see are colored containers everywhere. Because it's like, everything is it a green? Is it a yellow? Is it a red? And, in that first week, we had a little bit adjustment because the lists are a little different, not too different. But they're a little different. And so you have that adjustment, but now in week 2, you kind of have that idea like, oh yeah, I need to get, a vegan, protein in. And I need to make sure I add that in somewhere and getting those things down.
But overall, I mean, this morning, like, I've talked to you privately about my, BMs.
Mhm.
So
We've
I'm
been
not
talking a
really
lot
gonna
about poop, everybody. Yeah, we've
So I'm
been
not
talking
really
a
gonna
lot of poop.
not really gonna get into that again on a recorded call, but
Right, yes, yes.
I'm with you. I understand.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I think Sue
Yeah.
has the same.
That's why
thought.
we're, so if anybody wants to join the workout Zooms in the morning, that's tend to be where the poop calls happen.
yeah.
These are not recorded.
Not
We can just
recording
talk
then.
about it.
Yeah.
We speak very freely then.
Yes, yes.
Mhm. But no, in general, like I'm a little tired right now and it's 8:15. I feel like I haven't eaten dinner, but I'm not that hungry because I did have a late snack. So I don't know. I'm trying to stick with coffee like every other day or every 2 days because I am definitely doing 3 a week. I enjoy it too much.
Yeah, we were just talking about that because it's just like, I do miss the flavor of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, the matcha is just fine. It's not like I'm like, oh yay, I get to have my matcha latte right now.
Right.
Not that at all.
Jen, where are you? Because we're in the same time zone.
I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, that's where we're going tomorrow. I'm in New York. My
That's where her
daughter's in
daughter
Connecticut.
lives.
Where in Connecticut?
So I live in a town called New Milford and it's like 30 minutes from Danbury.
Okay, we're going to Hamden,
Okay.
north of New Haven,
Yep.
south of Hartford. That's where we're going tomorrow.
Been to Hamden plenty of times for sports.
Okay.
And I always fly in and out of New York. So I was just there Monday. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing my daughter says. There's not a good airport in Connecticut.
No. Nope.
But New Haven now
Depends on,
goes to Florida now, New Haven.
Yeah, it depends on where in Connecticut you live because it's a big state. There is a couple of Connecticut airports, but for me, I'm closer to New York. I'm
Yeah.
only an hour and a half from the city, New York City.
Yeah. So what do you go to, Kennedy or LaGuardia?
I go to, I went to JFK just because there's a lot more options and it's,
Yeah.
more direct flights, but
Yeah.
yeah. But so anyways, with the coffee, I just love it, but I love that this plan doesn't restrict you altogether. So again, it's very doable.
I'm super glad that we can still have caffeine because the one thing I do like about the matcha is my even keeled energy level is much better with matcha than with coffee.
What do you mean?
I just feel like I don't have a spike. I just have a all of a sudden I'll be say I have it at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and 9 or 10 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I'm still cruising along at this nice level.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas coffee, I think in the past I've felt I'm up for a little bit and then kind of down later. And I had a coffee earlier today and I'm feeling a little down now. So in energy, you know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to me. It feels like with the matcha, it just feels more even.
Now is matcha caffeine? I forget.
Yeah. So a teaspoon is 50 grams of caffeine roughly of the powders. At least the powder I have, I think they're mostly the same.
Matcha is a tea, right?
It is. It's a green tea. Yep.
I thought. Okay.
Yep.
Matcha doesn't tax your adrenals like coffee does.
There you go.
Yeah. It was the one thing that I started going back to when I was sick. That was the first caffeinated beverage that I went back to because it's easier on your adrenals.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. It's something I think I would like to keep in for sure. And maybe I just have, because I feel fine with coffee once a day. I don't feel like I have to have it more than that. So it'd be nice to either throw in a matcha or throw in an uncaffeinated tea. You turned me onto those Ticino or Ticino. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I love those. And I have some of the dandelion ones now too. And they're all just super good and no caffeine. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I never really for a while now, even after the reset, like I never went back to more than one coffee a day.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I just love it in the morning and I love the taste. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I don't have to miss it. But matcha's fine too. I wonder, is there any other benefits to that?
Well, there's antioxidants in it. We'd have to look it up. Bev's shaking her head. So there's,
Yeah.
there's, I mean, it's a pretty good source.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Well, good. So I'll recap quickly. I think I've kind of interjected most of what I thought about it, but like I do find this plan so much more doable than what we did with the reset. And I even like it a little more. I like it a lot more than Portion Fix, just because it allows me to hybrid. So because we have vegan protein options and regular protein options, I like to mix those in because since the reset, I've really enjoyed having vegan protein options. And I don't think I was doing it very well trying to mesh it with Portion Fix because maybe my macros were a little off, right? I don't feel like I was getting quite the protein because maybe I had one animal protein and, you know, 2 vegan proteins, but now we have more proteins for our plan.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just, I don't know, it just seems to be, I just feel like I'm kind of have a natural flow with this one. And I feel like I have more options, even though we took out all these food groups. A lot of the food groups we took out, or I shouldn't say food groups, a lot of the foods we took out weren't necessarily part of my faves anyway. Like, I wasn't eating a lot of things with gluten in it in general. I would have my corn tortillas, so I do miss those sometimes, but I am loving the jicama tortillas. Those are amazing. And then if I don't use them all in a taco, I can just slice them up, throw them in my salad. Oh, that reminds me, I wanted to bring up too for everybody. On the food list, I don't know if everybody saw that there are foods with a PB next to them.
Yeah.
So those are foods that are naturally good probiotic foods for us, and jicama is one of them. So you want to kind of look for those things. Those are going to help feed those good bacteria. But I don't know. I just feel like this plan is really like, it just, I fit really well in it. And it seems like each day people are talking about the new foods they're trying. And that's been really fun too, because I think sometimes when you go into a plan like this, you think, oh, I'm giving up all these things, but like we've all added in all these new things that we weren't trying before and didn't really have a reason to try, right? Or, didn't wander through the grocery store and just start adding stuff to our cart. And so I think that's been really great too, to just see there's so many more things you can add in and enjoy and that benefit you. My energy level has been so much higher than at any other point. It's probably similar, if not better than it was with 80 Day Obsession and Time Nutrition. Because that was another point in time where I remember just feeling really like I had a lot of energy through the day and things were going really well. And I feel that same way with this. So, yeah.
I feel like with this plan also, it's even after the 4 weeks, obviously life happens, right? And there's some times where, like when I was away, it was difficult, to do it to a T. But in general, I feel like it reminds me of a little bit of intuitive eating in the sense that you're figuring out what feels good for your body, what works for your body, what makes you feel best. I know intuitive eating is different, but I don't know. I just feel like it's forcing me to just focus on how I feel after a meal too.
Yes, totally. I think that's one of the great things about this too, because we're actually eating something and then being, okay, how did that work?
Yep.
And and you do that a lot in 2B mindset, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like even the next day, looking at your meal plans that you had or what you had and go, how did I feel at the end of the day? Did I go to bed feeling like that feeling that I always had? Or did I wake up feeling great? Or,
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And that's going to be something that through this 4 weeks will be really critical for marking down, right? You know, how, because then you can look back at, like Sue was talking about, you know, there might be some food in there that's irritating her a little bit. And so that's how you pinpoint it, right? That's how you're going to really see, okay, these days I didn't feel great. Or you can, you know, go to the poop chart. There is a poop chart and you can go in there and see, okay, well, this is what that looked like. And oh, this is what I had either the night before, and this happened in the morning, or the day before, the day of, all of those things. And then you get to schedule it to you. You get to like change the plan to you, which I love, because that's the empowering piece of this, is figuring out how you feel your best. Like we're not striving on this plan to have the scale change. We're not striving on this plan to necessarily even change our body composition, right? We're striving to feel our best, to recognize times when we're high energy, low energy, food is affecting us, all of that kind of information. And naturally, your body's going to have other things happening. If your body's feeling well, you're fueling it, it'll let go of excess weight. You know, those things all are intertwined, but the focus is on a much more beneficial thing, right? Not just a number, not a clothing size, but really, how is this working for you?
Right. Yep. I think people need to go into this plan with that kind of mindset, and not like, this is what's going to help me lose all the weight. Like, because that's not the mindset with this. That's not what this program is set up for. It's really meant to be more eye-opening as to what's affecting you, you know, your body, your health, your gut, which, like we're learning, you know, routes to so many other different things.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've seen in some of the blogs that, you know, oh, I haven't lost any weight yet. Well, that's not really the goal. I mean, you probably will lose some weight, but that's not the goal. So,
well, and depending on where you're starting, what your eating was like, what your gut microbiota was like, all of those things, right? Determine how easy that is for you anyway to change. You know, your body has to feel really safe and okay to let it go, because it is trying to keep you alive all the time. That's the whole duty, right? It is trying to keep you safe and sound. And, you know, if you have been eating a lot of processed foods and not diverse, and, you know, whatever, like you haven't been regular for years, right? 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're going to feel better, but it's not necessarily going to fix everything at that point. You need to keep it going. You need to keep flourishing your gut microbiota and everything that's in it and how it's going.
Yep.
But I think that's why I'm so excited about it too, because I feel like I can keep going on this.
Yeah.
And I was curious how it would be, right? Like how you'd feel if you felt like it was a temporary, or if it feels like something you can
live on,
you know, have as a structure for good.
Well, I mean, like the 21-day reset, I was like, I could never last more than maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah. Well, and especially when you added workouts back in, I was like, oh, I can't, I need some other things going on here. I can't keep on just the veggies and the fruits. And
Hi, Lily.
Lily, are you at a place to share how your week has been, or how you're feeling about things into week 2?
I have struggled in the RV to plan ahead. When we're driving, it's really hard unless I've made stuff ahead to make something that is veggies, because I literally have 6 veggies a day that I have to get in. So if I don't have things made up, especially when everything had to be cooked, that was really hard. So I've done a good job of trying to keep, you know, like dishes full of baked veggies and stuff like that, so I can just grab those with different shrimp and chicken and stuff that I've already had. So I've done okay. I have not had any wine still for like 3 weeks and no coffee still, which is
Wow.
a miracle for me in the RV, because usually when we get in the RV, it's like, okay, party time. It's, you know,
Yeah.
a time we're going camping and eat all the, yeah, Aaron's drinking all the wine for me.
He's
So,
taking your share too, I'm sure.
yeah, so he's drinking all the wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been definitely a struggle, but I've had my kombucha, which I'm enjoying. Actually, surprisingly,
I
he does
am too.
not
I
like
think it's kind of a nice
kombucha at all.
treat at night. I don't know. I've been having it in the evening in place of some,
Yeah.
you know, when I have something else.
Yeah, that's when I've been having it as well. So, but yeah, I've been doing okay. I didn't bring a scale, so I don't know where I'm at with scale wise. I was super bloated at the end of last week and the kind of the beginning of this week. I was stopped up a lot. So, I'm still not regular at all. So I don't feel like,
Everybody's problem.
yeah, I don't feel, well, I mean, I don't think I get normally 6. I eat a lot of veggies, but I don't think I get 6 veggies in a day. That's not typical for me. So eating more veggies, I think has been a good thing, obviously, but it's not helping me release everything. So we'll see. I feel good. I have a lot of energy. I get to the end of the day and I crash though. Like I sleep hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Lily, I'm
I'm
curious,
doing much.
do you think that your bathroom issues might be because you travel as well? And you're
No.
never in one place? No.
Nope. This is normal for me. It's
Okay.
years, like Anna said, how, you know, if you've been like this for 45 years, you're not going to reverse it in 10 days or
Yeah.
2 weeks or whatever. So it's always been something that I've always struggled with. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm hoping that it will get better and continue to get better. I feel good. I feel like I have great energy and stuff. I did eat yesterday some I don't even know what it is. It's like carrot chips. They're like
I'm gonna drive. Can I drive?
dehydrogenase. No, I gotta put all this stuff away. It's I don't even know what they are. They're like freeze dried carrots or something, but that's like it. And like an hour later, my stomach hurt.
Oh,
Like,
interesting. What was on the ingredients? Was there anything on there?
I've showed them to you before. I don't know where I put 'em.
Hi, Mariana.
Hi.
Hi, Mariana.
Hi. How is everyone?
How was
Good,
Paris?
It was fantastic.
I love seeing your pictures.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was
Reminded me of when we went there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So but Lily, what's added into the, like, what else do they put on? Yeah. What's in the ingredients?
So it's organic carrots, organic high allelic sunflower oil,
Oh.
and sea salt.
You just got a point from Bev right there. Sunflower oil. It's an inflammatory.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of that would have done it for me. So
And it could be. It could be the thing doing it.
instantly I could tell a difference like within an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's
Wow.
just the craziest thing now, isn't it? That
Well,
something.
and we're so much more tuned in, right? We're focusing in on it. And that's what's going to be, I mean, well, good or bad, because you might find your favorite thing is not your favorite thing
Yeah.
for your body. But
This thing
you know, I
doesn't
mean,
like
you get to tune in and just really, and you can do this no matter what plan you're on, right? I mean, 2B Mindset focuses on this too in a little bit different way. I mean, you should recognize if you have bloating or inflammation from a food, but you're also focused on the scale. And you can do it while you're doing portion fix. You can focus in on, what did I have yesterday? Because today I'm not feeling so great, or an hour later that didn't really work. You can totally see those things.
Yeah, I was just surprised. I hadn't had those at all, but I was like, I need some kind of veggie, and we're driving and I didn't have anything. And so anything cooked up. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that. And that was not a good idea.
Yeah. Well, it's good. Now you know.
Yeah, I should just throw those away,
Probably. Yeah.
Give them to the kids.
unfortunately.
Zelly.
I do have a question though. We were just in Costco, and where did I just
I
took a
went to
picture of it.
Costco today too.
So this it's Clarity, and it's I didn't buy it. Hard sparkling water. And it says on the front, like, no sugar, no nothing, 3 ingredients. That's what it says on the front. Then you turn it over and it says it's 100 calories, and it says total sugar 0, carbs less than 1 gram. But then it says filtered water, cold brewed non-GMO dextrose, and non-GMO natural flavors. How can they say no sugar if it's dextrose? Because dextrose is sugar.
But it must
Bev
have
is
been
losing
alcohol.
her mind right now. She's like laughing hysterically. It's so great.
I know. It's alcohol sugar, right? Is that how they get away with saying no sugar?
Yeah, it's got to be an alcohol. And they don't necessarily have to list that it's an alcohol on there, I don't believe. I think they have to list added sugar. I just think some companies do list that it's an alcohol sometimes, but I don't think it's a requirement.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it says made with 3 simple, high quality ingredients.
Yeah.
First,
I mean, it's a white claw with no, with, art or a sweetener added, right? I mean, isn't it because it's alcohol, right?
Yeah. Hard sparkling
and that's
water.
where the 100 calories comes from, is the alcohol.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting because it's literally on the front. Like I would be like, oh my God, it's perfect.
Oh, they're really smart. They want you to buy the stuff.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting because so many people don't read labels, and they would have picked that up and they went, why do I feel so crappy?
It was funny. That was the exact conversation Jack and I had walking through Costco today, because I can't remember even what we were looking at. And I'm like, people don't look at the label. I'm like, I told them about the whole vegetable broth, because I'm still in shock that vegetable broth had 3 grams of sugar for 1 cup of vegetable broth. That's insane.
That's horrible.
It's insane.
I think that's the one thing that's really been eye-opening, is how much added sugar is in
our life.
The product that we consume.
Yeah.
And it's not just the M&Ms, okay?
Right,
It's the vegetable broth, and it's all the other stuff that we just use very freely.
It's the healthy foods, right? That are packaged really pretty on the front. And then you turn it around, you're like, guess I can't have that.
That's why I had to get really, it was so difficult when Jacob was as sensitive as he was, like for many years. It was very, very challenging. It was pretty much impossible to go to a restaurant and actually just trust that the restaurant could prepare something, because they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
They just don't. So, and it was the same thing with family too. And my family, some of them dealt with it well, and others like basically shame us because of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. I just don't. It's like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and this is what the SAD diet's all about, right? Standard American diet is everything has sugar added. That's how you gain a craving for it again. That's how you continue to come back. There's a certain amount of sugar put into things, and we're used to having sugar in things. So then it's like, if you're not putting that sugar in, then we're like, what's wrong with this dish? Or why doesn't this taste the same? So, it's just, but I think that's why I so appreciate both Portion Fix and Gut Protocol. It is truly about ingredients. It's about the whole food, right? Real food, and not trying to sub out different things in place of that. If you're going off the food list, you're not going to see foods from a box in there. They're all just the ingredients, and you put it together. Same with the Fix8 recipes. So, I think it then changes your taste buds. Like now I couldn't even imagine eating some of the things I used to eat, and how like it would taste, and how, what it would be like. So, I don't know, has there been any questions that anyone has heard that we haven't addressed or talked about in the group directly, or any anybody have clients that, are bringing some things up? Yes, Mariana?
I have so many questions.
Yes. Okay, let's talk.
Fire away.
So, please excuse if you guys have already gone through all of this.
It's a good refresher. Don't worry.
It is.
Lily, I have to pause really quick and just acknowledge you, because I was talking to my husband about you, Lily, and I was saying like how sweet you are, because you're so inclusive of me. Like you'll like message me and be like, you're not on the nutrition call, or like, did you see this in the group? And it's always so appreciated. So thank you.
Aw,
I really appreciate that. And everyone has just always been so welcoming, and it's just so incredible. So my question is, with the gut protocol, I'm starting on Monday and I'm a little confused about the eating plan, not because I'm confused about the food, but it's somehow she talks about like, you have to pick like to be mindset or like portion fix. I'm just so confused all around, honestly, what's going on.
That, so that is confusing, because I'm not sure what, like, is that in a video or what do you mean?
So when you go to her like program guide and she goes through it, and then you pick, it says like you have to pick whatever. First of all, I don't even know what bracket I'm supposed to be eating in, to be honest with you. I have no clue.
You're gonna for sure go maintenance, at least. Okay, because you don't have weight to lose. And even if you were at a place where you feel like you have weight to lose, you don't have enough weight to lose to go to weight loss. You should be in maintenance. I'm going to be really strong on that, because
I love that. Nope, that's helpful. Thank you.
And that doesn't mean you won't lose weight, but you just need to be in maintenance.
I'm in maintenance and I lost 3 pounds the first week not trying.
Yeah.
And I'm eating maintenance as well.
You should be.
Yeah. So I found that to be true the last time we did this, Deanna, you were like maintenance. And then I did, and I noticed that I did lose weight as a result of that.
Your body composition will change in a much better way if you're eating maintenance.
Okay, so that's helpful. So now I know where I'm supposed to be eating.
Okay.
So but then when I was going through, it was like I think I was just confused, because when they show the gut protocol, they're showing like to be mindset and fixate or portion fix. And I'm just confused in general, friends.
So because I'm in the program guide, because let's solve this in case somebody else has this.
I can't imagine I'm the only person.
No, that's exactly right.
That's what I was looking up. If it's in the guide.
Hold on, let's see, where did I see it? So I did that.
And I wonder if she's talking about no matter what you were doing before or want to go to after.
I think it was the after part, but I was just confused in general, because I was like, oh, like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, because this plan is complete on its own. So you won't have to, like you're not doing either of those 2 plans. You're just in gut protocol.
But you use containers for this.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. I have so many containers. My husband's like, do you need more of them? I'm like, do you ever have enough containers?
Right.
You'll
use them all again now.
Yeah. I have so many containers. Every time we get a new program, Scott goes, what am I going to do with containers?
Right.
Up on the shelf, honey. Just put them on the shelf.
Yeah, they're like all stacked into the cupboard. Like they're
exactly.
all, yeah. He's like, oh, more containers.
Can't you get a plan and say you don't need the containers? Isn't there a way to do that?
Well, you could use measuring cups. I mean, they're all known. They're all known measurements.
But are they going to send you containers anyway? Can you get a lower price without getting the containers?
No, you either have the choice of digital things or the pack. And so then you'll just get it.
Oh, okay.
There isn't like this in between, because they want to make sure, especially if it's someone's first time, that they're getting exactly what they need. So.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that was probably where it was. It was after the fact, like after you're done. So that's helpful. So there's a whole thing, but I noticed that she gives you like 3 days sample of like eating foods. How do you guys build your meal plan beyond that?
So I don't use any of the meal plans. I don't know if any of us have been. I don't think so. And so so Jen is saying the food lists are different. Yeah. So make sure you're really scanning the food list, because they are different. And there are different categories within them so that you're getting the right macros, because you are hybriding some vegan protein options and animal protein options. And you're also hybriding a little in the carb department. So you'll want to look through both the yellow and the red lists and make sure you understand kind of how that works. They're red A's and B's. But the meal plan itself, like, I don't know if you've seen some of my photos of foods, right? I'm literally just taking things that sound good together and putting them together. Like last
look
night I made the miso soup, the hearty vegetable one from the Reset. So that got me in 4 cups of vegetables, got me some fermented food, and then I put some salmon on top. And so there was a protein. So, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of putting things together. And then there are recipes that go with it. So you can, you know, shoot for those. But I've just been trying to get a little creative in how I blend, you know, make a bowl of things.
What do you eat for breakfast?
I pretty much always have steel cut oats with, I've now started cooking the cauliflower in it, the cauliflower rice, and I love it. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. Yeah, Lily's like, why didn't you do it earlier?
Right.
So I've done it both now with so coconut beverage and cinnamon to make it a little, but I actually like it plain instead. So I just did water, steel cut oats, and cauliflower rice, and then I have fruit on that. And I did finally make the Fixate turkey sausage recipe, which I highly recommend. Oh my God, how did I not have this before? It's amazing. I had to make another batch last night because Jack was eating all of mine. And so, yeah, it's delicious. So I just do less maple syrup. So there's going to be, you know, once you kind of get into the plan and understand your grams of sugar, because you're going to have a restriction there of how many added sugars you have, you can look at some of the Fixate recipes and modify them to still fit. So like Fixate sausage is one where she's using 2 tablespoons of maple syrup for 4 patties. So I cut that down to 2 teaspoons. And so that's a half a teaspoon per patty. So really kind of inconsequential, right? I think that's like a gram of sugar or something.
Are they hard to make, the breakfast sausage?
No, you literally take turkey, you cut up some herbs, you grate in a little nutmeg, or if you already have ground nutmeg, salt, pepper, maple syrup, ice cold water, because that helps everything hold together. Fry them. And I would just say, after you're done, don't squish anything, right? Because then it takes the juice out of the meat. So don't take your spatula and like on them. Just put them in the frying pan, fry them up, flip them once, fry it up. I use a temperature thing to see, you know, make sure they're done.
Right.
And then I let them cool all the way for the ones I'm putting in meal prep without doing anything. I let them cool in the pan, just sitting there, because then the liquids all go back up in there. And it's really good the next day. Otherwise it can dry out.
Helpful. So this is kind of a twofold question. What is something, or maybe there's more than just one thing, but what is something that you wish you had known before you started your first week? And what are tips, tricks when it comes to shopping for your first week?
I think what helped me is I took a lot from the Reset. And since you've done that, I took a lot of cues from the Reset. It's in getting my veggies in. So I did a lot of stir fries and that kind of thing. So I think that helped me most. What do you guys think?
I agree. And then the advantage for me is that I don't eat meat normally, although I had chicken yesterday. So it was easy for me to follow just the all vegetable plan. And I don't normally eat bread, so that was easy. And I haven't generally eaten pasta, so the whole gluten thing is pretty easy for me. But keep it simple. I mean, don't try to make like these elaborate meals. Just keep it as simple as possible.
That's helpful. So there's no gluten on this meal plan for
Correct.
clarity? Okay.
What were
I
you
will
gonna
have
say,
to go
Jen?
through the list.
I was going to say during the first week, what really helped me the most was there's this meal, like daily tracker you can use. And I would literally like first thing in the morning, just sit there and along the top, it lists out all the containers you're supposed to have for the day. Like pretty much every one of us is having 6 greens, which is hard to fit in.
I get 7.
Oh, you do?
7?
Yeah, I'm on C.
Why can't we swap a green for a blue? I need more blues.
Yeah.
Or teaspoons.
But anyway, so you'd have all that along the top, and then it would say like, what are you going to have for breakfast? What are you going to have for lunch? What, and then I would kind of write it out. And this way I could see, like at breakfast, I would try to have like one of the reds, whether it be red A or red B. I would have like, definitely a fruit. Sorry about that. I would have, like one of the yellows or whatever, because there's yellow A and yellow B, which is usually oats, like Deanna. Like I have the gluten-free rolled oats instead of the steel cut, I think. But that's just because I don't have steel cut that are gluten-free. So I would just get the rolled oats. But anyways, plan it out, because then okay, you feel good. You're like, all right, I know what I'm having for all my containers. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to go to the fridge and get this at this time. That was like super, super helpful for me in the first week.
Yeah, and I think same for me. Like I do that mentally each day. I'm kind of like, okay, this is what I think I'm going to do for dinner. So do I need a blue or an orange? It's whatever container like you have either a hard time filling or a hard time that you want to use more of, right? So making sure you've kind of just thought through it a little bit.
The 30 plants a week tracker is kind of stressful. Like I'm a little stressed.
I
out
wouldn't
there.
worry about it. You're going to hit it. You're going to hit
Okay.
it. Because unless you're eating the same plant all the time, it's pretty easy. I think I had one meal where I had 9 different plants.
Oh, wow.
So you just make sure you're grabbing different veggies when you're at the store, and you'll be just fine.
Actually, the first week I did my meal planning and plan my day out and set it up on my phone, so I would just know what to grab. So like, okay, for breakfast, I'm going to have a red, a green, and yellow, whatever category. And I just tried to split it out. And then that way, when I didn't have to think about it when I went to the fridge, and but I still got to the end of the day and I didn't get all my containers in. Like, I think there was one day that I got all my containers in. And so even though I planned,
that first week is tricky. Yeah.
Didn't quite make it. So
yeah.
We were saying before you got on, Mariana, that week 1 is a lot of trial and error. Like it's a learning curve, and it's a little bit of planning. Some people, because you're not supposed to have raw veggies during week 1 for digestion reasons, unless you're very, very used to it. So I think week 1, some people were saying like, start the week with like roasting a huge pan of veggies, like just a huge pan of variety of things, peppers, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, whatever you want to put on there, and then put it in your Tupperware. And then you have like a ton of roasted veggies already done. That is going to be so helpful.
That's a solid tip. I like that. So where did you guys find out that you're not supposed to eat raw veggies the first week?
She talks about it in one of the videos.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I haven't
actually,
gotten to the
maybe it was on her social media too. I can't remember.
It's in the week 1 video.
The week one video.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the week 1 video.
And it's really about
has a video.
Yeah, because you're now like, I don't want to say regular people, but generally people going on this plan, right, haven't been eating 6 and 7 cups of vegetables. So to put all the raw in there, raw is harder to digest. Cooked gives your body a little bit more of a jump up to digest it. So it's not as bloating or difficult to digest. So that's kind of why, because you're probably already going to have some bloating. I don't know if any of us I had some bloating, and I think everybody had some days in there. Anytime you have an adjustment, you go into a nutrition plan, it's likely your body's going to need a week to 2 to just really adjust.
Mhm.
But I did have veggies and hummus week 1, and I was fine.
Yeah, I had raw veggies too, but I also eat raw veggies a
Yeah.
lot. So I wasn't too worried about it, but you got to watch for it, right? So like maybe if you think you are, but you're having a lot of bloating, then that's a great place to step that back and go to cooked.
That's really helpful. And then I saw that there's a limit on coffee and caffeine. And then I saw Lily was making matcha on her Instagram. And so is that what people are subbing their coffee for now, is
Yep.
matcha?
We're all matcha girls now.
All right, send me your links to buy the matcha. And I saw somebody, I think Lily, you had the milk frother.
Yeah, everybody's got that too, I think.
Please just send me all of your Amazon links so I can get this ordered in advance. I am so excited about this, but I'm always like super neurotic as I head into a new program, as everybody knows already.
Well, and and the matcha thing, like, so, we still get 200 milligrams of caffeine. The matcha, you actually get quite a bit of matcha to go through that, depending on if you use Energize or not. But yeah, you just want to make sure you're like an organic Japanese or a ceremonial matcha is what you're looking for. You
Okay.
want Japanese sourced green tea.
Awesome.
So
Unlike mine, which is probably from the Bronx or something, but
I don't think they can grow green tea in the Bronx.
I didn't know what I was doing when I first bought it, but
And
lessons.
that's, and that's totally, like, that's the thing, right? I mean, Marianne, you'll have to go back and look in our group and in our, like, we have a coach chat going, and then, like, I think a lot of us have customer chats going too, but like, look in those groups, because there's some really awesome information in there from when we were all getting started reading labels. You're going to find things you thought didn't have sugar, and things you think are sugar, are like, sugar-free, they're going to be sugar alcohols. So you want to avoid those. And you're just going to have to be really diligent at reading labels, or skipping the labels and going with the real food.
Got it. Yeah, I did see that she does talk about like what her staples are. And I was excited and grateful to see that that included frozen veggies, because that's like my godsend, right? Like I can just pull it out of the freezer and like grab and go and get it.
Yeah,
done.
and frozen veggies and fruits are generally even more nutritious than your fresh, depending on how long they had to travel, right? I mean, if you're getting it at the farmer's market and they picked it that morning, then you're probably good. But the stuff that's frozen is picked at the peak. It's like the last thing they get, and then they freeze it, and then it's off to the store. So it, had a chance to mature. It didn't get picked early.
Nice. Yeah, that's helpful.
And I think there'll be tons of, like, we've all kind of gone through and we've had extensive conversations on kombucha. Extensive. I think we've all tried about every brand, looked at every label. Like you could have, so out here, Hum is a local brand, and Synergy's nationwide, but that's California brand. And like, depending on the flavor you get, some have added sugar. So you really, like, you have to turn over every single flavor to make sure that it's legit.
Nice. Yeah, I like reading labels. I do it now pretty habitually, so I'll fit right in.
You're gonna do amazing. Yeah. So make sure you get in the group for sure. I think I know none of us would be as successful at this without the group. I mean, it's been such a great way to communicate about how we're feeling, what's happening, throw out an idea. I've seen so many different food posts and ideas. It's like every day you're getting a different idea of how to pair something or eat something, prepare something. And it's just been fantastic.
Is this group on the, where is said group?
We have both places, Bod and Facebook. And then there'll be another. So like this group is almost halfway at this point. And then we'll have another group starting on May 2nd.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I see Lily added me to a group, a chat, word. Thank you, Lily. Yeah. So I'm there, but if there's a Facebook group, somebody please add me.
I'll add you in there. I think Wendy's in there too. But
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I'll add you into that one.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm super excited. And then I see all the bod messages, but I'm the worst bod member ever.
That's why we have two groups, because we know sometimes it's depending on what you're used to. It's a little.
I mean, I get the notifications and I'm curious about your sleep schedule, to be honest with you, Deanna, because I get notifications that you're posting stuff at the most like random hours. And then I do the time change, and then I did the time change when I was in France. I was like, I don't think she sleeps. So
It's called automatic post.
that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Well, when I started seeing
I set up all my scheduled posts for 1 a.m. Pacific time.
okay, yeah, because I was seeing them and I was like, I don't know if she sleeps. And then I figured that I was like, she has to be scheduling these things. There's no way that she's like that committed to being up at these like crazy
No,
hours.
I'll show you my t-shirt that says I'm ride or die till about 9 p.m. or so.
Me too.
That's me.
I totally need that shirt. That's definitely
me.
my mantra. Oh my gosh. No, this is good. I'm really excited. So I will, to get started, I'll watch the 4 steps videos and then the first week of focus video. And
Yeah. And
I'll
I
go
wouldn't,
through the
you don't feel like you have to go through the whole thing. It's just getting through that first week and really focusing on what she's talking about the first week is important, right? Because don't feel like you have to go and like map it all out right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna focus on the first week, and kudos to Jen. Thanks for flagging those food lists, because I would have thought it was the same thing as the fix, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously I've been doing that forever. So I was like, oh, it's like the fix lists. This is fine. But now I will go through that with a fine tooth comb.
Well, and we've all put in a lot of pictures of, because you're going to be adding fermented foods in too. And we've all put in a lot of picture of our favorite fermented foods. Because we're finding some really yummy things out there. So, and seriously, like, don't hesitate to just throw a question in the group. That's what it's all about, right? Like, you're like, okay, I'm going to try this, or what do I look for in sauerkraut? How do I find what I need here?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
No, I'm
just
sure I
throw it
will
in.
have so many questions. So yeah, because what I'll do is I'll set up the order for my groceries to come on Sunday so I can roast all the veggies. Thanks, Jen. Again, for that. I will be roasting so many veggies this weekend. I can't wait. I love good roasted veggies, so that'll be good. And I'll get all prepared. I usually plan up to Wednesday and then I order more groceries. So that way I get like everything and it doesn't go bad.
Yeah. And I utilized, like the ginger miso dressing from the Reset. I'm trying to think of what, the stir fries. Trying to think of what else. is in there.
Primal Kitchen
Oh yeah.
condiments are a good backup plan. I mean,
Yeah.
it's awesome to try to make your own dressing, and they actually taste amazing and way better for you than anything store bought. But if you were in a pinch, like I did find, I don't know why I was dying for tuna, like tuna salad. And so I got the Primal Kitchen avocado mayo, which is dairy free and all that. And just put a little bit and mixed it in, and it was so good. And put that in like a bell pepper. And it was a perfect combination of like a protein and a veggie, and it was a good lunch.
That sounds delicious.
Did you make the chickpea tuna yet?
I'm gonna make that Sunday.
Okay, I'm gonna make some tomorrow.
You are?
Because I've been dying to try it, and I'm gonna put the kraut in it.
Okay,
The
good.
garlic kraut with
really
the
good.
chickpeas, and then I need to figure out my fat because I can't do the mayo because it's got eggs in it. So I'll either do avocado or I'll do like there's a Sir Kensington too that's egg free.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Tuna and chickpea, that's interesting.
So it's like you take the chickpeas and you kind of smash a few, and then you're putting in the same ingredients you would have put in a tuna salad. So celery, dill, capers, olives. You're getting in some really salty, briny deliciousness. And then she did regular mayo on the recipe we have, but you just want to find some kind of fat to put in there. And I could even just do olive oil. Probably.
Can you use a vegan mayo?
Yeah, Sir Kensington's a vegan one.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but you'll count that as a teaspoon still, I believe, because I think it's the juice from the bean juice, and some kind of oil.
Fava.
What?
Fava.
Fava.
Uh-huh.
I want to call it bean juice.
Fava. Avocado is really, really good. I mean, like I actually use avocado in tuna. I did that and thought I was really.
I got a ripe one, so I was
like I made
to be my place to use it. Yeah.
Well, there you go. I buy them not ripe, but I buy them I buy 4 a week, and they sit, and then once they're ripe, then I put them in my refrigerator, and then I use them throughout the week. So I got a whole system down.
Yeah.
You have to with an avocado. Those
You do,
things are
you
like
do.
they're ripe
Yeah.
and then they turn. It's
Yeah, you
like,
gotta use them right away as soon as they're
You've
ripe.
got like a
Impressive.
10-minute window,
Yeah,
seriously, Deanna, we should let you go. You might need to get your avocado.
right? It's already gone bad while I've been on
It's
this
got-
call.
You've
Should we
missed a
take a
window.
picture? Should we take a picture?
Yes, because I need to go. My
Yeah,
dinner's
let's get a
ready.
picture.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
Okay, oh my, here, let's go this, there's like a
We get
glare.
light.
Okay, everybody, cheese. And tomorrow, Funky Friday, is pastels. So let's
Oh.
see those pastel colors posting your workouts.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but the meal prep class, the next meal prep class will also be gut protocol friendly, and that will be May 1st.
Oh my gosh.
And stay tuned.
Fast.
'cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
have flour.
Okay, so are
Mine
you
was
making the bread
delivered.
tonight?
No,
Did-
probably not
Did she ever
tonight.
answer anybody? Did she ever answer anybody why it was a red or a
Oh, let me look and see.
red, not a
No.
yellow?
And my skillet was delivered this morning, so there you have it.
Yeah, I can't wait to try that. I bought the flour.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use the cake pan.
I'm
I
sure.
don't have.
I
I don't
need
have,
a skillet anyway, so it was
Yeah.
fine. Yeah,
I
don't
have,
have one of
yeah, I
those.
was, the skillet's gonna be kind of fun to do it in.
I think so.
One
My
of the things,
will
what was
not be
that?
as clean as hers, I can tell you that right now. So,
one of the things that we had a hard time with the first week, Marianne, was staying under the 10 grams of sugar, of added sugar. It's not so, because everything has sugar in it. So if you don't really look at the labels, people, we're like, oh, well, there goes that day. Cause I, totally blew it on this because I ate soy sauce that had, 2 grams of extra added sugar. And you wouldn't think that, most of the amino acids have sugar added to it, but most of them do.
Is it the
So-
added sugar that you're counting or
added
is-
sugar.
Added sugar, yeah.
Okay,
So like
so-
if you have Shakeology, Recover, and Energize, you go over 10 grams of added sugar. So I've been doing a scoop of Energize, my Shakeology, and half of my Recover, but then I'm done. I can't have anything else the rest of the day with added sugar.
Mm.
So
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
No one has
that was the-
answered, no one's answered from
Okay.
Beachbody.
I didn't think so. And just so you know, I've been looking at the vegan tuna salad, and I finally found one that did not have vegan mayo, but it has an avocado. So that's,
Oh, send it to me.
yeah, well, that's
yeah, that
the,
sounds yummy.
so,
Yeah, I'm gonna try that tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I didn't buy you lettuce cups, but I have a ton of those little sweet peppers. So I'm just gonna stuff it in the sweet pepper and down the hatch.
let's see if I can put it in the gut protocol. Should I put it in the gut protocol? So
Sure,
it's
if you
not
want to, yeah, because there's several of us, I think, that aren't eating eggs.
Wait, are you supposed to cut eggs out?
I
Oh,
have,
I was.
I have not eaten eggs for 3 years, so that's a me thing. But
I was gonna.
eggs is common for a issue.
Yeah.
There
Or
are-
one or the other, either.
I'm gonna say
Yolks or
goodnight. I'll see
whites.
you next week.
Good night,
Night.
Kathy. Good to see you.
A
Have
lot of
happy
people
Easter,
really
everyone.
like that tofu scramble too.
Oh, it
Mm.
was so good. And it was funny because that was the one thing, like, it reminded me of eggs. I need to make that again. Cause the way you crumble the tofu in there, it's like egg pieces for me. And it was so good. Yeah. So that was in our meal prep in April. So that is in the group too. Or if you know where my YouTube channel is, it's on there too, or I can just send it to you if you want.
Cool. Awesome. Ladies, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you taking time to answer all my questions. I'm sure I'll have so many more, but this has been so fantastic. And I've missed all of you while I was in France. I missed all of you guys so much.
I can't, you're going to have to tell me all the places I need to go. Cause that's where I want to go.
I
in
know.
50.
Oh,
Oh, Can I
would
share
say,
something real quick?
Yes.
yeah.
We all want to go
Okay.
for your 52.
There's a study that was done. LA Times has an article on it, 2007, where they took rats, 43 rats, and they put them in cages and they gave them 2 levers. One gave them water sweetened with saccharin, and the other one gave them intravenous cocaine. At the end of the 15-day trial, 40 of them preferred the saccharin water over the intravenous cocaine. They
Yeah.
also took rats that were addicted to the cocaine and gave them the option, and they still chose, most of them chose the sweet. So the food manufacturers, they know exactly what's going on.
That's exactly right.
I thought there was a study that they did with rats in the 60s along the same lines, but I haven't found that particular one.
There was
There
one
was
that
a Freakonomics episode about sugar and how it's like more addictive than like cocaine or more.
yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
well, and there's a Sean Stevenson does a podcast about the history of sugar, and it's
Mhm.
fascinating because well, it's tied into a lot of really awful things, but yeah, it's also a very good listen if you like the historical aspect of things.
There's another good one, University of Berkeley, California professor. It's an hour and a half long. I've listened to it a couple of times, talking about sugar, how much sugar was in that Coca-Cola that you bought when you were, young, that 12-ounce bottle, the relation to, it's just terrible what they've been doing to us for all these years.
It is. Yeah.
Well, and then you go to a specific, like you go as far to like restaurants and stuff, like McDonald's has it down to a science that even down to the size of the straw, the diameter of the straw that they use for you to drink their soda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It changes the flavor and also gets you to drink it faster.
Yeah, same with
get
like
more.
Doritos, right? I mean,
Yes.
they have put the exact right amount of powder on there with the specific makeup that makes you want to keep putting your hand in the bag and keep it going. I mean, they spend millions of dollars researching all of it.
I think it's Doritos and Takis, and there's several of them that are linked to I don't even care which ingredient it is. I just know that it's in there, but that they're linked to Alzheimer's, triggering Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So I kicked Doritos to the curb many moons ago
Yeah.
before I even went gluten-free. Like, no. And that was actually something that I loved. I love Doritos.
Yeah,
oh
you're
my
a Dorito
gosh.
junkie.
I really was. Like when I was before I got married to him, before I had my gallbladder removed, I was probably dealing with my gallbladder having issues, and no doctors could determine this, even though I went through a bazillion tests. But I would literally drink Pepto-Bismol, and I would eat Doritos because that was the only thing that my stomach could handle.
Yeah. Eeh.
And I was in that bad of a state, and it's like, yeah. And then I
Yeah.
got the gallstones, and it was like, oh yeah, that was probably what I was dealing with.
Right. All right. And I'll just have you note, I've had sour cream and onion chips sitting on my counter all week in an open bag. Haven't touched one. So
Good job.
with that, let's end our call. It was good to see you guys.
I was
And,
gonna say,
yeah.
the reason why that we're able to do everything is because we're doing it as a group. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
I never thought I would go 3 weeks without alcohol or coffee. And
Right.
I'm on week 3 right now. So my kids might not enjoy it, but
And well, I think it's more fun, right? Because we can all either commiserate or be excited or celebrate or whatever. It's all about just kind of having a camaraderie through it. And, we all get what you're going through.
yes, exactly. For sure.
Oh, you're
So
on
you're
mute too.
You're on mute.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say, where else can you talk about going to the bathroom freely?
Right.
Right?
Maybe next
Oh
week
my
this
gosh.
will be our topic.
You can't with him in the
Our
room.
Zoom calls are hilarious.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you
Bye.
later.
Bye. Bye.